Concert Crew Podcast, we back again.
Yes, sir. Fellas, what's happening?
Today we celebrating one of those albums right there.
Straight.
The Chronic 30. 30 years.
Straight classic.
30 years since The Chronic came out. Woo.
30 long years, but
That's
this
amazing,
album,
yo, 30 years?
is so memorable.
Shit.
December 15th, 1992. Wow. 30-year anniversary of The Chronic. This is one of those hip-hop. It's some of those albums that just, they get put up in
This changed the game right here.
A certain category. This is one of them, this raised the bar in every area,
Hip hop legend.
This was
hip-hop
huge.
classic.
Woo.
This was a huge moment for hip hop.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about like straight monumental, like to a level that like unexplainable. Like you was just excited to be a part of the culture around this time.
It's a great time. It's
Now,
a great time.
This album came out in December. Does it sound like a winter album? You know, it's like you got the
But
winter
you know it's
albums.
Cali though.
No, because it's Cali.
Yeah,
and
you know it's Cali,
And the
so-
vibes and the music. No, it's definitely not a
Yeah.
winter sounding album at all. It ain't no East Coast
Right.
blizzard,
Yeah.
snow,
Nor the
hoodie.
videos.
No.
Hat on, the Scully.
The
none
whole
of that.
vibe with it is cool and relaxing and
Right.
all of that. But fellas, let's take it back, man. 1992, right before the Chronic drop. Let's describe the hip hop, man. What's going on in hip hop at the time?
I guess the better question would be asked is, what was you guys doing in 1992 in your lives?
Man, 1990.
Because I mean, we were all young.
Absolutely.
December of 1992.
I know for me, I was 7
Still
years
young.
old. I was
still
7.
a youngin.
Actually, December of 1992. I think I'm in sixth grade. I don't even think I'm in middle school yet. I think I'm in sixth grade.
What about you,
Bancroft
Freeze?
Elementary
Middle.
School.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Bancroft
I was
Elementary.
definitely
man.
7 watching wrestling on Saturday mornings and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. 1992. I was playing sports, just running around,
This-
playing basketball,
Right.
playing just sports and
Being a kid.
This
Yeah,
this is one of them albums though that's like at the time it came out, it like changed everything as far as the way you the way you looked at like any other, you know, because you know we from over the East Coast. So the way we looked at them was to me was totally different. Like when this album, because it gave you so much
Right.
within the album, not to mention the videos. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
It gave you so much like volume of what it's really like
Yeah.
over there, and you like, damn, like it makes you want to go to Cali. You know what I'm saying?
And if you from the East Coast like we were, you didn't know nothing about living in
Yeah.
Cali for the most part.
Yeah.
So this is like how you're living.
Yeah.
You're seeing Cali through their eyes. It's like they're
Yeah.
painting a picture of Cali for you. That's how it was for a lot of people. I think that's why it like kind of resonated past the West Coast, and it was
Yeah.
no coast south. Everybody
Right.
just
Yeah.
loved the Chronic. But 1992 in rap, like what would you say is going on? I know we're young, and it may, you know, I didn't have to be listening to this stuff
Yeah.
at the time, but just going back in 1992, like what was going on in hip hop?
I think like 92 Hammer, MC Hammer, was he out?
Sheesh. I don't know if Hammer Don't Hurt Him
Nah,
was
it
out.
still was-
Hammer was like 1990. Hammer was earlier than that.
Yeah, Hammer was definitely earlier than that.
I tell you one thing. What coast had it on lock?
I would say it was like a transition going to the west to the east. I feel like 'cause 93 was East was heavy.
I disagree with you. I'm gonna say it was, and this is before Death Row popped off. I still think it was the West because you come in 1991. Remember, NWA was
NWA was still-
Niggas for
yeah.
Life was
Yeah.
NWA,
Yeah.
and also Ice Cube had 2 albums that was crazy.
Then after this, you had Snoop coming.
Ice Cube was the only person on East Coast I really would say was popping
Because of NWA, though.
Is the GOAT LL. LL was the only person that was moving
At an all-time high.
moving out here.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like commercially,
Yeah.
like I'm that
Yeah.
guy. It was LL. But West Coast, you got Ice Cube popping, you got NWA popping. Then I always say this, but yo, just imagine if Dr. Dre and them could have got the contracts and stuff right.
Yeah.
Like Eazy-E all of the NWA and Death Row, Ice Cube, all would have been under Ruthless Records.
Yeah, I've been crazy.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Snoop, Ice Cube, everybody he bought in the game, Mac 10, Dub C, all the Dog Pound, all the Death Row, that all would have been under Ruthless Records if they could have kept that tight. That would have been. They would have had a dynasty, man. That would have. I think the West Coast reign would have last. I ain't saying the East Coast wasn't going to do their thing, but they would have been popping in the West Coast.
Definitely,
well into the 90s. I think that would have been crazy, man.
I agree.
Yeah, but it was still like
people trying to figure out the sounds and stuff.
Albums. Yeah. But you had people that was still like in the that was strong 80. But still dropping in the 90s as well. You know what I'm saying? You had like EPMD.
Yeah, EPMD.
You know what I'm saying? Then you had, well, I ain't going to say the album was really dope, but they had a strong presence with a song or two, like Daz Effects.
Daz Effects is popping. You
had always Down South Ghetto Boys.
Yeah.
So it gave you a little taste of everything that was really going on at that time as well, though.
Eric B. and Rakim was popping.
Yeah, Eric B. and Rakim still was in the mix.
Ice Cube was killing it right now. He's that guy. He's that guy. Ice Cube. He the Predator dropped this year. Like Ice Cube's that dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
today was a good day. Like that was crazy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, but also at the time, Dr. Dre, he's separating himself from NWA.
That's a big deal.
You know what I mean? Like
That's a big deal.
him and Cube were cool at the time because he was in one of his videos on here.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think like this is Dr. Dre's chapter of what my life was living on being on the West Coast.
Well, Dr. Dre was the sound of NWA.
Yeah.
So you taking the sound away from NWA, but he don't have the back end. He don't got Eazy-E was the mastermind behind everything. So it's up in the air. Can Dre do it on his own? And then he found a young fella,
young hitter.
That was crazy,
and everything changed.
Yeah.
I think when Dre met Snoop, I think it was like, oh man, I got one. Like, how did I get this guy?
For real.
I think at that point Dre just had a vision, like, oh, this is about to be crazy. Let's go. I think he needed that guy, and he found him, and it was on, man. Where was you mentioned that Dr. Dre left NWA? So where would you say Dre was at in his career at this point?
I feel like he was still, taking the sound from the last NWA album and still trying to figure out his own sound. It sounds like the old NWA, but it sounds like more redefined. It still got the George Clinton type sound to it, the funk, but still hip hop, still West Coast.
Yeah, but
it sounded totally different. Than
but also you had time to warm up to this because during the time, Bill, I want to say probably before the summer or in the summer, Deep Cover dropped.
And that
you know what I'm saying? And that soundtrack, and then the video, and the introduction of Snoop.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? All that leading into this album. So it really warmed you up. And then when Snoop came on and was basically on this album, it opened everything up for this album and what was following. Like when you said like things that came afterwards. But that Deep Cover situation really, really put this whole album in play because that was huge at the time, that movie.
That was huge. That song was crazy.
The movie was dope.
You
know what I'm saying?
Fishburne,
introduced Snoop. And they had a dope remix to that song I don't think people slept on. It was called 187 with Snoop on there
187.
too. But the remix is crazy too, man. Yeah, Deep Cover was big. And that was kind of like the introduction. Like, okay, let me throw Snoop out there, test it out. Oh, that worked? Okay, let's go in the lab.
Yeah.
I got him. I got these young boys, my new crew. Y'all can sleep at my house. And, Dog Pound, all of them was sleeping at Dre house.
And then, but, that was probably something Dre already had in the works, too, because he probably already had these songs already halfway done. And then Snoop and them came on bringing different energy. Then it was more to it. Because it was more people from the Dog Pound involved in this album, even on the interludes.
But the thing was, they were hungry.
Yes, sir.
You could tell they was hungry.
They ain't have nothing, man. They ain't have nothing.
Yes, sir.
They sleeping on the floor at Dre's crib. Dre said Dre ain't had no furniture at his crib. He had a big house, but no furniture. So they just sleeping around the floor. So, when it's time to work, they ready to go. They trying to win. They want this to work. Snoop wasn't the Snoop that he was now. That he is today, young people. Snoop was like 19 years old. He was a kid.
Snoop was basically they knew was next up for Dr.
Oh,
Dre
yeah,
in that.
definitely.
The rest of them was there on the behalf of Snoop.
Yeah.
On all under one umbrella, but Dre running is the man about to put it together, and it worked. It worked perfectly, and I think that a lot of people that was involved with Dog Pound and all that probably found themselves during this album, and for them to turn in like some producing, some started rapping, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people was birthed on this album, man.
And Dre was at a crossroads because Dre, he left the NWA situation. Even after all the success, he left with really nothing.
Yeah.
So he actually still was hungry to prove it. Like, yo, I gotta do this on my own now. So I basically gotta do it all over again.
Yeah.
Because even though they had a lot of success on NWA, they wasn't really making money compared to, especially even Drake, compared to all what he was doing. He wasn't getting the money side of it. So he pretty much left the Eazy-E situation broke.
Him and Jerry Heller.
Yeah. So he wasn't getting paid. So now I got to make this work. I got a new situation. Even though Suge's the head, Dre's everything. He's producing all the music. He's just pretty much saying, "Look, I'll get the business. Suge, like I get the business. You do all the music. Make this pop." So
Make
all
it work.
that pressure is on Dre. I got to teach all these kids how to rap. I got to teach them how to rap. They don't know how to rap. They wasn't doing songs.
But then on top of that, like this is the first album from this brand new label that no one ever heard of, Death Row Records, and you put this out. That's crazy.
Was there? Would you say was there anticipation for this album?
I would think so, coming from Deep Cover, and plus, you know, if
but
you're
you
a
didn't
fan
know
of
it was
NWA
coming.
Yeah.
So it was like, I hate when we do that question, kind of, because it's not like we know that this album is coming. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Until
maybe
they really
maybe we didn't know it was coming, but he was promoting it on the West Coast, saying it was coming. Now, East Coast wise, it might not have touched us.
Yeah, ain't touch us
but
like that.
I think for us, probably Deep Cover was like, oh, Dre about to come with something.
Yeah.
But you know, he had I say the anticipation was high because it was like, oh, Dre coming back. Like, what is Dre going to do? I think people was even like, what is Dre going to do without end up under the NWA umbrella?
How can you do it without Ice Cube?
Just like
Eazy-E.
just like when Ice Cube came out, it was like, yo, what's Ice Cube going to do without NWA? And Ice Cube held it. He snapped. Dre had that same pressure, but Dre was the sound of NWA though.
Dre was that nigga.
He was.
Yeah,
He
He was that nigga.
Absolutely.
Like, but Ice Cube was that nigga as well. And just so happened is that the NWA thing separated them, and they both know that they was they both knew that they was the it. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if that would have never, you know what I'm saying, separated at that time. Because now you got. But, you know, they found their way back because, you know, Q was in the video and everything. But, you know what I'm saying? But, like, that separation, man, was crazy. Can you imagine Ice Cube on
part of the Chronic?
Not only part of the Chronic.
I mean, just part of the whole movement.
Niggas for life.
That's what I'm. Well, I'm not saying
Cube on
crazy.
Niggas for life.
but that's what I'm. Yes,
that's some of Dr. Dre's best work. Let's be real. Them beats on there is ridiculous. Can you imagine Cube over them joints?
That's what I'm saying. The Ruthless thing. If they could have kept it right, the Ruthless family would have ran into the 90s.
Yeah.
Like the West Coast wouldn't have fell off. It would have been the East Coast too, but the West Coast would have been strong.
But but not to take nothing away from Cube, he was killing them. Public Enemy beats.
He definitely was killing them.
What's their
Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad. Yeah, he was killing them beats.
Absolutely.
Them fast East Coast tempo
imagine
beats.
him over them, the Niggas for Life beats though, bro, that they had.
But Dre had a certain magic to him, and that's what I think.
And it seemed like he got stronger though.
Yeah.
After Cube left, it was like, man, I got to step my shit all the way up.
And I always say the Niggas for Life production to me is better than Straight Outta Compton's production. That's the production.
Absolutely,
I agree 100%.
That production,
that's
on
hands
Niggas
down.
for Life,
That's easy.
Only thing they was missing was the lyrics, and Ice Cube was that guy.
Yeah.
Like,
They were there, but it wasn't.
It wasn't consistent, man. They was playing around on some of them beats was hard. Like they was just playing around on them joints.
Yo, I mean, like even on the last one when we were talking about the whole their last two albums, I like Niggas for Life better than the first album. That people might look at me crazy, but me personally,
Niggas for Life
I like it
to a
better.
different
A lot of
level.
people
It's just
do say
that
that. Straight Outta
you
Compton
get
had
raw
them
Cube.
joints, though.
You get raw Cube on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But as far as production, Niggas for Life got the best production.
Niggas for Life production is crazy.
It's crazy.
Man.
And it just shows Dr. Dre as a producer
Yeah.
evolving. You know what I mean?
Wow, the Chronic, man. Man, the Chronic, man, the debut album of Dr.
Absolutely.
Dre, man, hip hop
Classic.
producer and rapper.
Straight
It was
classic.
released on December 15th, 1992 by his label Death Row Records, and it was distributed by Interscope Records. Recording sessions took place in June 1992, so this was recorded in 1 month. In June 1992 at Death Row Studios in Los Angeles and at Bernie Grunman Mastering in Hollywood. All of the production was done by Dr. Dre with some assistance, which we learned over the years, by Daz on a few songs, man.
Yeah.
He put some contributions
That's
to
a
some
good
of
look
the
for
songs,
Daz,
man.
too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Sean, man, you know what I'm saying? You're known for these album cover reviews, man. Dr. Dre, The Chronic. What do you think about the album cover, man?
I mean, to me, this is a very clean album cover. It's Dr. Dre on the front. I like the designs around it. The font is clean. You look at this and you know it's The Chronic. You know what I mean? It's just one of them iconic album covers. It's pretty simple, but it's still elegant and it's like classic.
It's
You know
more.
what I mean?
It's more like a king situation. I think they kind of like took pieces of a throne.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the top of the throne and like the, like usually how the throne have fancy handwork around it as far as, you know what I'm saying? Like with the designing and the gold and everything. And, just to put that Chronic tree like right there. That's why I got my boy Chi Chong and them on his deck.
I got that Cheech Chong, man.
Chi Chong on his deck. You dig?
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah, I mean, but this is just a classic cover to a classic album. It's just Dr. Dre, me mugging on the front.
Clean white though,
yeah.
Sean. Clean white.
Very clean white. It's dope, man. It's very simple to the point. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Word. All right, here we go, man. The Chronic.
Let's go.
Track number 1, man. The Chronic intro featuring Snoop Dogg.
I love this intro beat, man. I wish they rapped over this joint. Man,
This beat
is hard.
This beat is hard, man.
Man, this joint go. This sets the tone of we about to get.
And I don't know if you noticed, but NWA it starts. You about to witness the strength for street knowledge.
Yeah.
They kind of started off the same kind of
Yeah.
way, and then Snoop gets on there talking heavy.
Yeah.
But he also says, man, niggas with attitudes, nah, niggas on a mission.
Yeah.
We doing something different now.
Yeah.
Like, but then he also, I don't know if you noticed, he says, "What up, Ren?"
Yeah,
He said-
what up,
he said-
Ren?
So
Yeah.
that must have been the only one
Yeah.
at that point.
He
They
didn't
was
shout
still
out Q.
cool
He
with.
didn't shout out nobody.
Nah,
Yeah.
he said, I did hear that "What
Yeah,
up, Ren"
what
in
up,
the
Ren?
background.
Yeah.
This beat is hard though, man. It's like, and Snoop, it's funny because Snoop is talking, so Dre is letting him start the album. This young dude start the album and talk.
Probably
Now-
was his idea from the rip though. You know what I'm saying?
Now, all right. So, why do you think he would let Snoop lead off his album, his first album on his brand new label? Why do you think Snoop?
Because
would
he-
Because Snoop was popping from that deep cover. Sean, you got to realize this. Snoop, that deep cover took Snoop to another level. Motherfuckers wanted to know when was the next time we gonna hear from him.
Right.
Like, because Snoop killed that song. So
Definitely.
we was like, who the fuck is that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying at the time? Because like that song and that movie, like it came together. And I don't know if Dre seen the movie first, but it was like that joint just came together, man. And then Snoop with his voice and everything he brought, man, his silky smoothness, that shit was it was blown away. So why not open it up with him? Let you know that he's definitely on the album.
I think he let them know that, like, this is a new movement we starting.
Yeah.
This is my new guy. It's all on him. Like, I'm the producer. This is my album, but this is my guy right here. We about to run with this new movement. So let him introduce himself.
Yeah.
Because he up next. He about to be that guy. And then, man, Snoop throwing shots at Eazy-E and Jerry Heller right from the rip on the album, like letting them know what it is. And boom, it goes right into track number 2, "Fuck with Dre Day," and everybody's celebrating, featuring Snoop Dogg, RBX, and Jewel. Man, rest in peace to Jewel.
Mm-hmm. Wow, this is how you start off an album with a diss track.
This the second single.
Yeah, I mean, me growing up as a kid, I vividly remember seeing this video with fucking Eazy-E.
Oh,
Jerry Heller.
Rest in peace to AJ Anthony Johnson,
Yeah,
the
he
comedian.
did. He played
Easy in the video, and he was hilarious
Yeah.
in this video. Man. Yo, they was
For those that don't know, that was Ezel in Friday.
yes,
Yeah.
the same
With
dude,
the
man.
Doctor- with the Ice Cube movie.
Which probably could have connected from, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Probably was a whole lot of alley hoops with that.
Yeah.
Because he played a real good Easy. You know what I'm
did.
saying?
Yeah,
and for
he
him to
played
be a
good.
good actor like that, you know what I'm
Yeah, it
saying?
was funny.
Then Ice Cube came with Friday. Probably they all probably met.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? That situation. That's what I probably think.
It was hilarious, man. This is the second single on the album. It samples Atomic Dog, Not Just Knee Deep, Funkalinchi, The Big Ben Theory, and Aqua Boogie, all by George Clinton in the Parliament, in the Parliament Funkadelic. All those songs was sampled for this one song.
Beautifully done.
And at this time, this song was on MTV, and disc records and rap wasn't really big singles. This was like
No.
a big single. And it was direct, too. It wasn't no subliminals. It wasn't like, yo, who we
Yeah, you
talking
know who it
man?
was.
You knew
Yeah.
exactly who we
Exactly
were
who it
talking
was,
about.
yeah.
The whole video is an actment of making fun of
parody
Jerry
of-
Heller
yeah.
and Eazy-E. This is clearly act them. So these kind of songs wasn't even like successful singles, man.
But also at the time, Niggas for Life was opening the door for shit like that. So it was him with them probably with them ideas and just took it to another level.
Yeah.
So now it's working against Easy instead of with Easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they had shit that was working for Q on Niggas for Life
Yeah.
that was Easy was a part of. So now he like, man, shit, now was the joke's on him.
But I think like a song like this with the video, it's like, all right, maybe Q was right because he left.
Absolutely.
And now Dr. Dre's like, yeah, you was jerking me
Probably
with
one
the
of Q
contracts.
wasn't probably one of Q's favorite videos. And who's not going to remember the lead actor?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Word. And
Wasn't he calling he was like Sleazy Records?
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
animosity made you speak what you spoke. Yo,
Break them off some loud.
Yo, they was they not only just Eazy-E and Jerry Heller, but they also took some shots at Ice Cube got a shot in here too, but they took a shot at Luke,
Yeah.
Tim Dog,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't think people really understand the Luke and Dre and Death Row beef.
Was real.
Now it's up in the air how it really started. Some people were saying that Dr. Dre back in the NWA days, Dr. Dre and Eazy-E knocked off one of Duke's dancers. They just stayed the night with them, and she didn't want to go with Luke no more. And that was one thing I heard. Then another thing, it was just that Luke and them made it was like a gangster parody type video, and Dre and them thought they was like dissing us, like NWA, like, oh, y'all playing us. So it's kind of up in the air how it started. But
Yeah.
when it started and they dropped this stuff on the Chronic, remember, you got to go to Miami to do tours.
Yeah.
Snoop said when they went to Miami the first time, Dre wasn't there the first time. It was him and the Dog Pound. He said, Snoop said it got real. He said that, remember, you flying there. You only got but so many people with you.
Yeah.
And then at the time, there's no social media. You don't know what time their flight comes. It's like,
Yeah.
yo, these dudes really had it on
No,
lock.
Snoop and them said they wasn't scared, but Snoop was like, it was real. Like they was
Yeah.
deep. Like we couldn't do nothing after a while. Like,
Yeah.
nah, y'all got that.
Yeah.
And they said Luke was connected. They said Luke
Yeah.
was connected, and actually, what was it? JT? What was it? JT was dude.
JT Money.
JT Money, but they said one of the biggest dudes that was really snapping was a young Trick Daddy. Like,
Whoa.
was really holding it down for Luke at that
Damn.
time. They said Trick Daddy was really out in those streets,
Yeah.
man. He was on the front line through that. Like, they said Trick Daddy was holding it down, man. So that Luke beef was real. Like, they had to have somebody come in and kind of mediate that for them to
Yo,
squash
I
that.
mean, but yo, like, just think about the impact. It's like we up here in Delaware seeing them talking about Florida rappers, and we like, yo, Florida ain't nothing. Like, they dissing these dudes, but it's like we don't know how real it is out there.
Well,
'cause
you
it's
see
like,
the video, it was dissing them heavy. Yeah, dude was knocking
Yeah.
hitting them from the back. Like,
Yeah.
that's disrespectful. It don't get no more disrespectful than that.
Yeah.
And Luke and them made responses, but at that point, all we was hearing was Dre.
Yeah,
like,
exactly, yeah.
Dre was
We
the
didn't-
big
yeah.
the big person, and ain't nobody was really looking for Luke
Yeah.
for music. They're looking, you're going for Luke for
Party,
a whole
yeah,
different
yeah.
kind of
Exactly.
whole different kind
Free,
of
all different type love. You know, Luke love was totally different. You know what I'm saying? saying, what he had going on. You know what I'm saying? What he represented.
They said Luke made it very uncomfortable for them when they came to Miami. And it was later after
But Luke was that nigga though.
They said later
he ran
after
Miami.
that. Yeah, they said later after that, Dre and them got, Dre got some serious, like he got smacked up. Like there's nothing you could do. Because like you in their town. Yeah. Like you can't fly to whole LA there. Like it's real.
You got home court advantage.
And you gotta go tour and you gotta go to Miami. That's a big market. So I'm glad they was able to mediate that and nobody got hurt because it got real, man.
I mean, but still, like the video,
motherfuckers got roughed up though. I'm pretty sure.
No, they did. They did.
But still, but the video lasts forever. That's forever embedded in my head. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like those visuals,
dancing at your whack ass concert,
and you see him on stage at your
tights on and shit like doing that. Running man, like what the fuck?
Yo, that video was hilarious. That video was hilarious, man. Yeah. It was classic. It was hilarious. And then Tim Dog, man. A lot of people don't know Tim Dog. Tim Dog wasn't the greatest rapper, but he is from the East Coast. But he made a song called "Fuck Compton." That was the name. That was his single, and he was dissing the hell out of them in all this. In all the video, they had Jerry Curls in the video, and he wasn't the greatest rapper, so he was literally trying to clout chase, to get their attention. But it worked, and they gave him all the attention. He probably got more. No, he didn't probably. He got more attention on getting his name called on the Chronic than he did his whole career.
Yeah.
For real.
He wasn't mentioned after the Chronic. For real.
He got dropped after that. I mean, he wasn't the greatest rapper anyway. Right. But they made him famous, I think, Snoop. Man, they made him famous.
Yo, but also talking about the video, I remember like seeing Dre come in the room with the gun with the red beam. I'm like, yo, and then it's like, yo, this dude tried to kill Jerry Heller and Easy. Like, this is crazy. Yo, and it was on TV. I'm like,
this was on MTV. Yeah. Like this was threats at people. This is like, I think MTV went over their head. Actually, I don't think they really realized.
This video was kind of hardcore. like this is 10 o'clock in the morning. You watching this.
It was funny and hardcore. It was like both. It was like, and the B side of this song. Little known fact, the B side of this song was one of my Death Row gems, man. It was a song called Puffin' on Blunts and Drinking Tanqueray. It's a song that did not appear on this album, but it was a banger. The beat is crazy. Jay actually rapped over this beat on his S. Carter mixtape, man. This beat was hard. It wasn't Dre rapping, but he let like Dash, Corrupt, they all was rapping. Mm-hmm. They got a video for this too, man. Look that up if you ain't never seen Puffin' Blunts on Tanqueray. It's a video for it on YouTube. This song was hard, but that was the B side to this. But man, Snoop came on here like a star, man. Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yeah. He just had it, man. Yeah. Rose definitely in the house. Bow wow wow, yippee yo. Yo, he was the star, man.
From the rip.
Snoop was he just had it, man. It's just something
Snoop was
about
hungry.
him.
He had that flow.
Harmonizing.
That
that voice, the smoothness.
He just had it.
Yeah, and then the videos was real. The videos that they was coming out with for this album, and it was just like real West Coast and bringing you into Snoop world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It was laid back and it was smooth. Yep. But it was
then Snoop Dogg, then bringing in the Doberman pictures and all that. You know that represented him. You know what I'm saying? The Slim Dog. Yeah, you feel me? So all that shit played a part.
With the hydraulics and all that, that was the vibe, yo. It was like
that was West Coast.
It made you understand the West Coast, appreciate the West Coast. You couldn't be there.
Yeah.
Wow. So we start off with a classic, and then we go right into track number 3, "Let Me Ride," featuring Snoop Dogg, Ruben, and Jewel.
Me ride.
This is the third single.
This is my favorite song on this album. I love this joint. This is
one of my joints too.
This is my joint right here, man.
Yo, like this song makes you feel good.
I love this song.
Just play this joint.
And this was the second video off the album as well.
It's the third single. It's actually the third.
It was the third. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's third.
All right. Well, but here comes Ice Cube.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope.
In the video, you know what I'm saying?
Coming after
you
the
least
chicks out the
suspecting
bathroom.
You know what I'm saying? Let you know that it's all over between him and Dre.
That's a big deal.
You know what I'm saying? But also during the time when it's already little shots taken at Cube, on this album. But you know,
that's all love. That was.
What did he
dope.
say in the video when he came out the bathroom?
goddamn, today was a good day.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, with the chick, like, yeah, right, it was a good day.
He took 2 shots at Ice Cube on this album, but they wasn't serious.
Yeah, they weren't serious.
They wasn't serious. He took another.
He was kind of done with. He knew what the problem was.
Another one was about lynch mob. He said, "So rolling with my mob, but I ain't lynching or something like that." He took another shot out, but that was small stuff though.
Little jabs.
Man, but Let Me Ride samples Mothership Connection and Swing Down Sweet Chariot by Parliament. Kissing My Love by Bill Withers and Funky Drummer, which a lot of rappers use, by James Brown, man. Snoop wrote this for Dr. Dre. The whole song, man. I love this song, man.
This is the Chronic sound, that G-Funk,
yes,
that George Clinton. Man, this is a perfect.
It's that
this
beat.
Is a hip hop classic
beat.
song.
Crazy,
man. I
man.
love this.
That
song.
beat was just like vicious.
and it's also one of the few songs where Dre raps by himself.
No features.
No features. Snoop's on the hook, but Dre raps by himself. This is one of the few songs, if only song on
I'm
here.
about to say
Maybe
Snoop always says rolling in my 6'4".
It might be the only song where Dre raps on by himself, man.
And let me ride.
But musically, man, this song is crazy to me, man. It's
when he comes in on that second verse, I'm like, yo, this.
I
knew, but due to the way Dre been rapping on other shit, I knew he didn't write this word, man. But you know, it was, you caught up in the Dr. Dre moment, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, man, Dre ain't write this shit.
Is it Dre? Is it Dre?
Come
That's
on,
what they say each and every motherfucking day.
Yeah, even know how simple Snoop made it to try to make it fit Dre, but Dre wasn't spitting like this.
Nah.
This make me, when I hear this song, this makes me like want to feel like I want to ride around, man. Like I want to ride around, even if I'm in Cali, like riding around in a low rider, just bumping this. Just cruising, not going fast, just cruising, man. It's one of them songs, man.
Yo, this is like you can ride around this with like a summer night, 7 o'clock. You just ride around.
Yeah.
Put the windows down, play this.
This song was special, man.
This joint classic.
This song was special, man. Let me ride, hell yeah! And the way they flip, if you hear the Parliament Funkadelic song that they sampled, like that chorus part, the way they flip, the way he flipped that
toward the end of the song,
it's just it's just genius, man. Because they actually have the video, they have them in the video,
coming down with the spaceship and all that. That's dope,
crazy,
man. Paying homage to that,
man. Dr. Dre's a genius. Yeah. Track number 4, The Day Niggas Took Over, featuring Snoop Dogg, Daz, and RBX.
This is another. Well, to me, this is where it kind of slows down a little bit. Coming from that, you know what I mean? It's a little not complete
semi-filler.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about it is, Dr. Dre and Death Row and Snoop, they're always known for making gangster stuff.
Yeah.
But this song is a time capsule of 1992. Because what's the biggest thing that happened in Los Angeles in 1992?
Riots.
The riots, the Rodney King verdict. This is talking about that. The day niggas took over. It's talking about looting and rioting, the cops. So it's
West Coast.
It's on topic. It's what they talking about. What's going on where they from? So it was right on point for this time. It's right on point, man. Because that Rodney King verdict and what was going on in L.A. was real.
Yeah,
they talking about looting. They talking about riot. They talking about this in the song.
Yeah.
So the subject matter, this is social. Yeah. It's a social message on this song.
At the time, it was definitely in time with what was going on. So you know it was real. Like it was there.
Yeah, word. They was there for sure. Now you said that, Sean. This goes right into track number 5, "Nothing But a G Thing," featuring Snoop Dogg. And this is the first single.
Classic Dre, classic Snoop.
Yeah.
This is another dope sample because this sampled a song called "I Want to Do Something Freaky to You" by Leon Haywood, and this sample is dope too, because if you hear the whole song, it's only a part where this beat is. And I'm like, damn, how did he think to take this? How did he think to take that part out of this long song? It was genius, man. Now, the DOC wrote Dr. Dre's verse. He actually wrote, first of all, man, the DOC does not get enough credit.
Not at all.
I seen this video where Nelly recently said that DOC is the biggest what if in hip hop, and I couldn't disagree. I agree with him. Like he said, DOC is the biggest what if because coming off of no one could do it better. Like that album is a classic to me. And you never knew what happened after he got in the accident. And I actually agree with Nelly when he said that. But man, DOC has such a strong presence on this album. I don't think people realize this is his pen.
DOC was nice. The nicest out of all of them.
Maybe other than Ice Cube is DOC, man. As a rapper,
I mean, Ice Cube probably go blow for blow.
But DOC actually was more like even though he was from Dallas, Texas, he rapped like an East Coast Rakim or something. Like he was a problem. Yo, DOC, y'all, if y'all don't know the DOC, man, please go back and listen to No One Could Do It Better.
I'm sure you heard a sample from one of his songs and you didn't realize it was a DOC song.
DOC was such a problem. He got in a car accident, y'all. DOC was nice, but a lot of these hit songs by Dr. Dre, DOC still wrote, so he still was active. When Dr. Dre left, he took DOC with him from Rufus Records, and that was a big person to have on your side.
I mean, just think about it. Like he's with Dre, so you got to have some type of pen game to you, or you got to be like a dope MC to even be in this circle.
But he was already part of like a real big presence in NWA.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So him going with Dre would just made it better because at the time DOC knew that shit was funky.
Oh yeah.
DOC was running with Suge before Dre and them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? While NWA still had their thing going, DOC was running with Suge.
Right. That's a good point.
You know what I'm
saying? DOC is the one that bought Dre to Suge.
Yeah, to Suge. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So DOC was like, man, shit, my shit real anyway, and I already know what's going on over there. But however it works out, it works out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas for life, if DOC was part of as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You feel me? Or some writing on that.
Absolutely. And he actually DOC actually wrote himself in the rap. Like my man DOC, no one could do it better like this, that, and this. Like who writes yourself in somebody else's rap, man? Oh man, Snoop.
I mean, just even hearing like 1, 2, 3 into the everybody knows
Snoop
that.
Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is that. That's like that just intro, that little part right there.
That video, man.
That
video made the song that much powerful, and that's what I was telling you. It took you right into that world.
And it was like in the video, the thing about these videos is they were nothing spectacular. It wasn't $1 million budget. It was like a day in the life of Cali. But it was so interesting because us coming from East Coast, we weren't used to that. So he came and picked up Snoop in the beginning of the video. Like come on, Snoop getting dressed. It's like regular hood stuff, but it's in Cali and it's different from our elements at least.
All right, so with the video, what was your favorite part of that video? Like that one couple screenshots was like, yo, I remember that.
From the rip, man. Just the way it came on. How he woke up, Harry woke up. You know what I'm saying? Put his shit on.
Heard you got the chronic.
You know what I'm saying? Came outside. You know, it was.
I like the cookout, man.
And they had the gun.
Absolutely.
He had the gun. And then also I remember the girl had the bra. He came in unfastened her bra. I remember that stuck out to a young brother.
Now, he chased her around.
And she started
young horn dog call.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It stuck out to me.
The volleyball game.
At the volleyball game. And that was just a cookout. And they made it to a video, man. It was the simple stuff, but it was dope. But yeah, like you said, when you hear that 1, 2, 3 into the phone, and also DOC was like a coach to Snoop and all the young dudes. He taught him how to rap. Like he ain't write his rhymes, but he taught him how to rap. Like, yo, man, say it like this. He said Snoop said he always give DOC a lot of. He said,
then it started just the way the video came on. Just was natural. Dre coming to Snoop crib, walking through the crib, breakfast being cooked. The mom showing favorable love to Dre because she know that Dre doing something. Like it was a whole thing. The uncle, the sister with the baby, the dogs barking out front door of the house. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that opening. Then all of a sudden, Snoop Dogg, door swung over. He got the girl laid out, sleep. You know what I'm saying? Cover. You know what I'm saying? So it was like it made the song like, damn, this shit crazy.
Classic song. Classic video.
Now for me, with the video, my favorite part is that little kid. He's like this. He's like doing the thing.
He caught it on. He caught it on rhythm.
That joint was.
He caught it on rhythm. Yeah.
This is one of the when you talk about like the best hip hop songs. This is one of them songs that goes into that. This all time one of the best hip hop songs. It's up there in that list. It's just one of them songs that just Like it just it just stands the test of time, man. When you hear it, you gotta respect it, man.
Yeah.
It's just a classic.
Now with this video, wasn't it like a fridge full of 40s and they poured it on a chick?
They did pour.
Yeah, that was like, oh,
I remember Warren G in the video rolling the blunt.
He's like,
I remember DOC was there. I remember all this stuff, man. Like
classic videos, man.
Classic video, classic song. Man, and nothing but G thing, just an all-time classic, man.
Absolutely.
Track number 6, These Nuts, featuring Warren G, Snoop Dogg, Daz, and Nate Dogg. I remember the beginning of this.
Yeah.
What's the name of them get at you yesterday? Who? These Nuts. That was Warren G.
That's where they got that from for everybody that's just catching that. Maybe like, got him. This go way back then.
And that was really only Warren G's only contribution because he wasn't, even though it was Dre's stepbrother, he was the only one that really wasn't in the death row movement, man.
He had a huge contribution. Like without Warren G, put Snoop on.
But Warren G is the one. Warren G is the one who brought Snoop to
exactly,
Dre. So he had a big contribution, but musically, musically he wasn't on death row.
Yeah.
They let him. He only thing he did on death row was he did the Regulators was on the Above the Rim soundtrack.
Yeah.
But then
that
he
was
went,
on Death Row.
That was a classic.
He went, absolutely. Then
that
he
was
went,
a classic.
But then he went. They let him get away. They ain't believe in him. Actually, they let him go to, and then they let him go to Def Jam. And then the rest is history. He became a star on his own.
Def Jam.
Yeah, but man, this is hard. It got like the West Coast sound, like this song. But my favorite part of this song right here. Guess what my favorite part of this song is, man?
What's your favorite part?
Nate Dogg, man. My favorite part of this song, man. I can't be faded because I'm a nigga from the motherfucking streets. Yeah. Can't be faded. I'm a nigga from the motherfucking streets. Nate Dogg killed that, man. Nate Dogg, because that's my favorite part of this song. This song hard, though, but that's my... Nate Dogg stands out more than the rappers on here, man.
I mean, but also at the time, like, no R&B was singing like that.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
It was like gangster harmony, man.
That was never been done.
It was like gangster harmony before.
Rest in peace, Nate Dogg.
Rest in peace to Nate Dogg.
Nate Dogg's a
legend, man.
Straight legend.
Yo, Nate Dogg, for several years, Nate Dogg ran the hooks.
Yes.
Like, I'm talking about East Coast.
What year Nate Dogg died?
It's been a while.
It's been a minute, right?
It's been a while. It's probably been over 10 years.
Past 2000.
It's probably been over 10. I think
over
10 years.
It's been over 10. It might be close to 15. It's been a minute, man. Rest in peace to Nate Dogg, man. Real. Nate Dogg was a big contribution to the Death Row sound.
Huge.
2011.
Yeah.
2011.
Wow.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Wow, man. Track number 7, Little Ghetto Boy. Featuring,
one of my favorite songs.
Featuring Snoop Dogg, Daz, and Nate Dogg.
Boy.
Yo, this is one of my one of my favorite songs.
Living in the ghetto street.
Yeah. They got the Donny Hathaway.
What you wanna do when you grow up?
And have to face responsibility. Yeah. Little ghetto boy.
Now I'm rolling on dubs. Sitting on dubs. 27 years old. Fuck on parole. Stroll. He said, I gotta get my mind up the straight because niggas on some shit. Niggas don't bang in this side. Remember, I used to talk, but now we blast, right?
Now Biggie took that part was used for Biggie Ready to Die album, man.
He said, now I'm really called a real ass OG.
Yo, DOC wrote Dr. Dre's verse on here.
Of course.
Little Ghetto Boy, man. It's Donny Hathaway, another like classic sample.
Absolutely.
The way he flipped this sample was classic. Shout out to Daz because we had him on the podcast. He said he did some of the instrument on this beat. He didn't get credit, but he was on there, man. Shout out to Daz. Man, this is like a real life song that people I think in every hood can relate to.
Classic storytelling.
This is real classic storytelling, man. From Dre.
This is a solid video too.
Snoop kills this.
Yeah,
this is classic, man. The Wu-Tang later used the same sample on Wu-Tang Forever. But go listen to that. Go check out that Wu-Tang Forever 25 episode if you haven't heard that. But I said on that episode, I actually take this version on the Chronic over the Wu-Tang version.
That one sounds more sped up.
Yeah, it wasn't whack. but this one right here is a little more special to me.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
This one feels
Yeah,
more
it was
authentic, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
This was a great song right here, man. I rock with it. This is one of my on the low. This is one of my favorite.
Yeah, that's one of my
songs
favorite joints too, as well, Carl.
Absolutely.
It seemed like Snoop opened up on this joint.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He was like he it represented him so much that he had to take over the song. That's what he did.
Nah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Now, as far as the sound of this, does this still all right? So with this song, are you still getting that George Clinton vibes? Are you?
Yeah, no, not George Clinton vibes, but this ain't really a West Coast beat. This is this is just like a dope beat.
Yeah.
This ain't even like where you at. This is just a dope song. That's why Wu-Tang could flip it, because it was just one of them.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Yeah,
I really love this song. This is one of them slept on gems on, because you got all these big singles, but this is one of them
Classic
slept on.
beat cuts.
Yeah, absolutely a classic for sure. All right, track number 8, we got A Nigga With a Gun. Who's the man with the master plan? A nigga with a motherfucking gun. This was cool. This song was all right. It was all right. It wasn't whack, but it was all right. But I mean, I like that they got the little intro on here before.
it was real West Coast though.
Yeah.
Well, West Coast. That beat, you know how they have.
The man with the master plan. It wasn't my favorite.
Yeah,
But I ain't gonna say it was whack, but it wasn't my favorite. But listen to it as an album. I don't gotta skip it because it's not like whack or nothing. But you know, it's nowhere near my favorite.
Nah, I mean, now does this song sound harmonious with everything else you heard to this point?
Well, it's not like it just comes. It comes after Little Ghetto Boys. It's not.
That's kind of hard to come back from.
That's a hard comeback from. Yeah. So it's a different. It's a whole different kind of tempo.
Yeah.
Doom 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 doom. It's like it's different. It ain't. I'm cool with it, but it wasn't my favorite though. Track number 9, Rat-a-tat-tat, featuring RBX and Snoop Dogg.
This was
Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Never hesitate to put a nigga on his back. It was. I like this. I like that hook. That hook was my favorite part of this song. The rap part. You know, I wasn't a big RBX fan. Anyway. But the rap part was okay, but the main part I like about that song is that the hook part. I like that, man.
All right, so at this point right now, do you feel like it's losing steam after these 2 okay songs? Let's keep it real. Is this album starting to lose some steam?
I mean, looking at it now, yeah.
At this point, yeah.
I mean,
I'll give you that, Sean. I'll give you that.
Because you coming off some highs, some very
super high,
very high, yeah.
Like grand opening type songs. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay.
Yeah, I can say that. I can say that. Track number 10.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah, absolutely. Track number 10, we got the 20 Sack Pyramid. This is a skit featuring Snoop Dogg.
One of my funniest interludes, man.
Featuring Snoop Dogg, Samir, the DOC.
One of my favorite.
And Big Titty Nikki. Yeah. That's her name.
Yeah, I know, but this was one of my favorite interludes, man, because you had that, you can just imagine like an old head up there with that voice. Try to explain it. And then, the Pyramid Show was big at this time. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't this on one of the videos?
That was Dick Clark, wasn't it? That ran that show? The Pyramid Show might have been Dick Clark. Man, let me look that up, man. I like to be fact checked real quick.
Wasn't this on one of the intros to one of the videos?
Was it?
I feel like it was.
You may be right. I can't remember that right now, but you may be right. But the raspy guy in this with the raspy voice, that's the DOC's.
Yeah, after he lost
that's
his
real voice. If you listen to it, after the DOC got in a car accident, he lost his voice. So the voice you hear on this interlude is the DOC's voice now after the accident. And that's how his voice sounded.
Yeah.
Snoop also took another shot at Tim Dog in this, man. One of my favorite parts on this is Snoop at the end. He like, I'm in the money. Yeah. I'm in the money. And all they want was like $35 and like a sack of weed. That was all he wanted. At the end of it, he was like, thing Tim Dog would say.
Yeah.
Things niggas say to get the pussy.
Yeah, I mean, but like at this time, like no one dedicated a whole track as
Bob
a skit.
Colbert.
Oh, Bob Colbert.
Okay.
So, I mean, to me, this was funny. It kind of broke down the.
This is hilarious.
Like
it
a little
was
break
a fun,
from the music.
This is a funny skit. This is a funny
Dick Clark. Nah, Dick Clark.
Dick Clark.
Dick Clark is the most commonly associated with the show, having hosted the network daytime version 1973 to 1980.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was a
Dick
dope.
Clark.
That was a dope hood flip, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to that was funny, man. Big
That was-
Titty Nikki is in there, and
This
Samir.
nigga,
That's
you
her
real-
name, man.
You real heavy with that big
That's
titty
her name,
Nicky.
man. Track number 11 is Lyrical Gangbang featuring the Lady of Rage, Corrupt, and RBX. He letting his team shine on this.
Absolutely,
one.
absolutely. Introduction to Lady of Rage.
And the beat is hard.
Introduction to Lady of Rage.
And
The beat is the beat is slow,
Yeah.
but it's hard. This is Corrupt's first song. Yeah, Corrupt
Yeah.
and Lady of Rage's first song.
I heard
Yeah.
them.
But this beat is hard, man.
Absolutely.
And Corrupt going in on this one to
Yeah.
me. He going off.
Yeah,
Man.
he like introduction to Corrupt too, right?
Yeah.
This is the first time.
Yeah,
you
this
heard
first
Corrupt
time you
on
heard
the
of
album.
Corrupt too, and that's what I said. Like you had them players that was around Snoop that became better at what they was doing, and he knew that they was nice, and they brought something to the table. You know what I'm saying? And like Dad said, he was part of the production of a certain song. You know what I'm saying? He became a great producer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Corrupt killing this joint. He going in on
Yeah,
it.
you
Yeah.
had to be good to make the album cut. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
So
I agree. Track number 12, High Powered, featuring Lady of Rage, RBX, and Daz. This is another hard West Coast kind of
Yeah.
beat. And RBX is actually the only person that actually raps on this
Yeah.
song. Dre talks in the beginning, like Lady of Rage does like a little ad-libbing,
Background
and then Daz is talking at the end too. But RBX is really the only one rapping on here.
Lyrical murderer.
Now, like I said, I'm not really an RBX fan as
Yeah.
far as a rapper, but this was all right. The beat was hard though.
Yeah.
The beat was hard. But Dre once again is letting RBX shine. Now RBX was on the on Fuck With Dre Day. He's talking on the song.
Yeah.
He is not in the video though. He's like the mighty DR. That's RBX right there. But he was again throwing him an alley oop. He never panned out as
Yeah.
far as a solo
Yep.
artist, but he was throwing him the alley oop as part of the team though. Track number 13, the doctor's office skit. She had an appointment. She had an appointment for Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
He's busy right
He's
now.
busy right now.
What you mean he's busy?
Let me in. I just see.
You want to see what he's doing?
Yo, that joke was crazy.
Oh man, that lead right into track number 14. Stranded on Death Row, featuring Bushwick Bill, Corrupt,
It is
RBX,
I, says
the Lady
man.
of Rage, and Snoop Dogg.
This was might be my favorite song on the album. Man.
Now,
this joint was
talked about
crazy.
this.
We
Posse Cuts.
talked about this on Hip Hop Posse Cuts Volume 1. If you
Yeah.
ain't heard that episode, go check that out.
This
But
was
this is a
classic
Death
man.
Row.
Oh my
classic Posse
goodness.
Cut, classic Death Row
Woo.
Posse Cut for sure.
Oh my goodness, man! This was, man. And then when it came on an album for it to be damn near ending it,
This
it was
beat's
like, man,
crazy.
rewind that motherfucker, man.
That beat's crazy. And it's interesting that
Oh,
Bushwick
man.
Bill from Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto
is on
Boys,
this,
yup,
this,
that's
man.
what I'm saying,
Rest
yup.
in peace to Bushwick Bill, man,
Yup.
for sure. This this is a classic Posse Cut. Dre doesn't rap on this song.
Yeah.
It's just Corrupt, RBX, and Lady of Rage and Snoop. And we talk about, I think Corrupt's going in on this. But
Corrupt
I think
is definitely going in.
But I think Snoop shows why he's a star, man.
Yeah,
on here.
absolutely,
He
absolutely.
He just shine. He's
Absolutely.
singing on part of this
Yeah.
song pretty much, harmonizing, but he just shows why he's a star on this. But Corrupt definitely going in. Corrupt just blacking out on here.
Yeah.
The beat is hard.
Corrupt,
man.
Corrupt made a statement on this song, man, and his bars alone and the way that he entered the song was just crazy. And man, like this
Stranded
is,
on Death Row. It's so hard, man.
and then like the sound of the prison gate show,
yeah.
that shit was
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, like this was one of them songs that was like,
oh
man.
it'd be hard, man. They snapping on
Absolutely.
this,
This is
man.
one of them songs that's like when you hear Corrupt, it's like, what's next? Then you go from this to Doggy Style. From Doggy Style to Dog Pound.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo.
but Doggy Style Well, did Dog Pound come after that, or was it All Eyes on Me? I think All Eyes on Me dropped before Dog Pound, right?
No, Dog Pound came.
Dog Pound came after.
Dog Pound came in 1995. All Eyes on Me
okay.
came in 1996.
96, yeah.
Man, but this classic.
Yeah.
This is a classic.
Yeah, because it's New York. Yeah. You're
This is
right.
a classic posse cut right here, man. Track number 15, The Roach, the Chronic outro featuring RBX, Imaj, Rubin, Daz, The Lady of Rage, and Jewel. This like a funky song about the Chronic. Make my shit the Chronic.
Gotta get fucked up. Then be like,
I want the bomb.
Yeah.
I want the bomb. I want the Chronic.
Nothing but the Chronic, baby. You know what I'm saying?
That's that Bootsy Collins.
That was that Bootsy
right?
Collins influence on him right
Yeah,
there.
this joint's crazy, man. I like this. I like this outro. I let this play when I listen to this album.
Now, Freak, so in 1992, was you calling your marijuana the Chronic back then?
I don't think I was actually
I know, I
blowing
mean,
in.
he was-
I'm glad he wasn't blowing.
Yeah, I wasn't blowing in,
too.
actually. You
Jeez.
know what I'm saying?
but
92.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully. Yeah. But I wasn't too far behind it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't too far behind it. You know what I'm saying? My shit probably started probably like 8th grade, I want to say. Kind of like, sort of.
All right. So 8th grade.
Nah, definitely selling it in 8th grade.
Come on, man.
Definitely selling it.
The time has went by.
Yeah.
Now I'm just being real.
Your 10 years is past, though. You good.
I'm just being real, man. Definitely selling it.
Now, what was you calling it though?
The Chronic.
Chronic.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Yeah,
Calling
the
it
Chronic.
Wow.
I got that Chronic.
And then track number 16, this is like the equivalent of a bonus track.
This jungle, I love this.
Bitches
beat.
Ain't Shit, featuring Snoop Dogg, Daz, Corrupt, and Jewel.
It's one of my favorite songs.
It's like a
as well.
bonus song. Now, DOC wrote Dre's a verse on this song too. DOC wrote this, and it's interesting because Dre went at Eazy-E again on this song, but he also talking about Eazy-E suing him. Eazy-E sued him, and what people don't understand is that Eazy-E was eating off the Chronic. Eazy-E ate off this album. So even though Dre was dissing him this whole album, Eazy-E got a check for this album.
Yeah, it says Death Row Records and then Priority Records. Priority Records too.
Yeah,
He's definitely getting a piece of it.
No, he was getting that was part. He wouldn't have been able to release this album if Eazy-E ain't eat. And then Eazy-E got a song, Real Compton G's, where he was like, he said, Dre Day was my motherfucking payday.
Yeah.
So Eazy-E was eating, but this song is a classic.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a classic.
What makes this song even more classic is Snoop is showing his storytelling. You know what I'm saying? At an all-time high.
Snoop kills
you know what I'm saying? Word he did.
Snoop kills this. This is another classic album cut, also posse cut type of song. But Dre's verse is dope. But Snoop, man, like you say, he told a great story, man. This is like, for those of y'all to say, I know we normally don't always equate Snoop with lyricism, but he was killing this.
Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
We say he can rap, but they don't always equate Snoop with lyricism.
Yeah.
But like this was super dope, man.
I mean, to me, this album shows Snoop's range. You got the diss track, you got storytelling, you got lyrics. Snoop is ready to blow at this point. It's like, all right, you done passed the test. Now it's like, where's your album coming?
Ain't shit. Yo, the story, man, about falling in love with the girl. Then he came home and Dad is knocking her down like, yo, and he couldn't even be mad. Like, I can't even be mad at you,
cop
man.
my shit. I'm heartbroken, but I'm still in love, man. Fuck the bitch. I'm telling you.
Classic.
He broke the whole shit that I once had a bitch named Mary. Man. Used to be all in the guts like every day.
Yeah.
He said the pussy was a sprung. Had a nigga. He said I was loved like a motherfucker, licking the pearl tongue. My homie used to tell me that she was no good, but I'm the maniac, the Mac, Snoop Eastwood.
Classic.
He said, guess one got gaffled about one time. I'm back to the motherfucking
when
county
that
jail.
beat changed,
6
all that
months
stuff.
on my chest, now it's time for bail. I gets released on a hot sunny day. My nigga DOC and my homie Dr. Dre. He said, scoop me in the coop. Snoop, we got news. Your girl was tricking while you was dressed in the county blues. I wasn't even home in second. and already got us to do some motherfucking
Chin check
check.
in.
Smooth up the block as we cruise
That's
up
what
the
beat
block.
say. Oh, he killing that, man.
Straight
Yo.
past the Glock, kicking the dope. I look on the floor. It's my little cousin Dad's and he's fucking my hoe. Uncopped my shit.
Classic, classic, man. The Chronic. That's the
DMX said that when they performed that, him and Snoop went back and forth on the verses. DMX was over there bumping real heavy. Man, I miss DMX already.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, DMX. He was like, man, I used to always put that song on when I was mad at my girl.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that in the verses, man.
Yeah.
Classic, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a classic, man. Wow, classic. All right, The Chronic. Wow, man. What would you say the impact of The Chronic was, man, after it was released?
I mean, I think it's a huge impact. I mean, from a producer standpoint. Other producers wanted to change their sound or get more different sounds to make their sound better. Yeah. Lyricists, you got Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Corrupt, a bunch of hungry MCs on here. Maybe want to step their lyrics up. And honestly, I feel like it's put more light on the West Coast. Like, yo, these dudes can actually rap. Yeah. It's not like they're just talking about palm trees and sunshine. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff.
Well, I think we all knew that they could rap.
Yeah.
It's just that I think that it made Dr. Dre stand out on a different level. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, damn, like
raise his stock up.
Yeah, like he producing and he rapping now. You know, everybody probably, not everybody, but some people probably knew he had a ghostwriter or whatever. But like I said, man, it was the emergence of Snoop that made it all like work and made it that much more special. So the introduction of Snoop taking over, which we already heard him earlier on Deep Cover and wondering when he was coming, and then he coming and he's got several features on Dr. Dre album, which is a stellar classic, which we probably didn't call it a stellar classic at that time until it grew on us and over the years, but it just changed hip hop, man, and it put West Coast on like in the driver's seat.
Yeah. What do you think, Carl?
This album, this wasn't a West Coast album. This was an album that every state, all the hoods, everybody loved. Yeah. It was a universal smash, man. Like I said, this wasn't glitz and glamour. Death Row wasn't putting big productions into their videos at this time. This is just the music, man. The music went far. The impact was huge. It changed the game of how artists want their production to sound, how like lyricism, just producing a song in the whole, like the whole vibe, how you rap in a certain way to the beats.
Absolutely.
Like it changed the game. This is a game changer right here.
Sound, all that.
It was a game changer right here. Yeah. This song was huge. I mean, this album was huge. It sold 5.7 million copies to date in the United States, man. It was certified triple platinum in 1993. Now it's sold, and that's a year later from this. It sold 5.7 million copies to date. So it was huge. It went off. The singles, you know, you got to understand. Think about it. Like, Nothing But a G Thing, it wasn't like no super radio song. Yeah. And that was a hit. Fuck with Dre Day wasn't no big radio type song. It was a hit. Let Me Ride. This is the song on the album. This ain't like Snoop Dogg singles. Snoop singles was big singles. Yeah. These was just like classic songs. But normally for a regular artist, they wouldn't work on like the radio. But these did, man. Dre, this is big, man. This is huge. Impact was huge, man. How would you describe the sound of the Chronic?
I think it's funk, hip hop. Yeah. It was different. This is the Dr. Dre sound. When I think of Dr. Dre, I think of songs like this leading up to NWA, to the Chronic, to Doggy Style, like that. Them whole 3-4
the
albums
old school
right there.
funk is definitely on this joint though.
Definitely,
and we know that from the samples.
And it's crazy. It's crazy because we call this the Death Row sound, Dr. Dre's sound, a West Coast sound. And really, if you really think about it, the people that they were sampling the most were from Ohio. And it's funny because I'm gonna give Stolly his because Stolly's from Ohio, and he the one who put me on to this. He said, yeah, we call that the West Coast sound, but they were sampling all Ohio artists, and we call it the West Coast sound. Really, it's the Midwest sound.
Yeah.
But Dre adopted it and made it the West Coast sound. But all of that, George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic, all that's coming from the Midwest.
But Dre stole that from being a fan of James Brown as well, because when James Brown started implementing, when he changed his band, he went with them. You know what I'm saying? With Boosie Collins, ain't Boosie Collins from up there as well?
They used to be down with James.
James
Brown and all
so
them.
all them, so you know when they did the whole thing with the band quitting all that. James Brown when they got the best, and it helped him by changing his sound, which he started making them songs with that old school funk on it. You
and
feel
I believe
what I'm
that
saying?
James Brown's like one of the most sampled artists in
Absolutely.
history.
Absolutely.
One of the
With
most
drums.
James Brown changed the game.
In hip hop, he's
Period.
definitely the most. He's definitely
Everybody is
drums and
doing
all that.
When you getting that bag at the door right now, some before and some after, you doing the James Brown. James Brown started that.
James Brown's a super
You're doing the
legend.
James Brown.
He's a
everybody
super
talking about
legend,
that bag. That's how far they out right now, and that they don't remember where that came from. James Brown started that bag at the door.
In the beginning, rap, everybody sampled James Brown. It was just everybody just sampling. Some people sampled the same James Brown song, or other people would just sample different James Brown songs in different ways. But everybody was just sampling James Brown. This is before you had to pay for it. When you had to start paying for it, this stuff
break
tightened up a
beats
little
and all
bit.
that stuff in the songs.
because he had them songs. And James Brown really was a rapper. If you really look at it, he just mumbled. He was a mumble rapper.
And then you gotta look at when them guys was coming up. You feel me?
What was that?
We're Dre and them like 50 something. Yeah, look at when they coming up. That's what the music
they
was at the
listening
time.
to,
Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah.
You know, Boosie Collins and them. You feel me? George Clinton.
And they flipped it.
James Brown.
They flipped it and put rappers over it, and it just sounded like it was supposed to go
Be
together.
there. It was
Like we use this. You hear this term thrown out there. Sonically, this sounds great. Sonically, the Chronic was like damn near no other. Musically, the Chronic is like no other. Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the way you hear the stuff in the background, the melodies. It's just it wasn't sounding like nothing. This was different. Before this, nothing was sounding like this production wise.
Nope.
Man.
Nothing.
He has so much going on. Dre was so particular into this part. Yo, no, do that over. Snoop said how many times I had to rap the same verse over. No, I don't like it. Do it again. Say this little part like this. Sing this little part kind of when you rap it. Like he was like, man, we would do the same verse over and over. But then when you hear the ending, you like, oh, it worked. So like,
worth it.
Man, production wise, the Chronic changed the game.
But you know what? Like this album sounds full. You know, like we talk about Daytona, how it being short, but it's so many different sounds and the beat keeps switching and so many different samples. It's like that's how this is to me. Just like a start of it.
And then like to master the game of the interludes, they mastered that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Making everything sound real. But he brought all that over from NWA. Because you know what I'm saying? Niggas for life. The interludes that was on there.
And it's getting
you know
better.
What I'm saying? It was getting better and better. And that's how you know how much control he had over NWA for him for him and Cube not to get what they really needed. You know what I'm saying? To make that thing work and keep it the same. It was crazy.
I mean, but still, in those 3 years,
I'm glad it happened that way because we wouldn't have got this type of music.
Yeah, I mean, but in those 3 or 4 years, it shows how much growth Dr. Dre has evolved as a producer. Yeah. It's like that's scary. Like this dude's like
even
really
though you don't hear too much productions from him right now, but you know what I'm saying?
He do what he want now.
But
you know, we talked a lot about Snoop on this episode. If it wasn't for what did the Chronic do for Snoop?
I think it really put him on the mainstream. Like he was on the first 3 singles.
He's really on all the singles. He's on the hook on "Let Me Ride."
It officially made him an artist.
Yeah,
a West Coast artist. That's what the Chronic did because once again, I'm gonna keep repeating when Deep Cover dropped. Yeah, and you don't stop, cause there's 187 on the undercover car. That shit took over to a whole different level. Yeah. I'm telling you, like that was probably one of the most played songs at the time. And this just made him an artist. This album made him an artist because now you're hearing everything that he got to offer. You feel me?
I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna say I think Snoop was damn near the inspiration of this album. I think Snoop lit a fire in Drake when he seen the talent in Snoop it lit a fire in Dre for him to put out this album. And I think by the time we got the Doggy Style, we already this was damn near it was like it was Snoop's album.
Yeah.
So by the time I got the Doggy Style, it wasn't no introduction needed. We knew who Snoop was. We were waiting for Doggy Style because we knew what Snoop was already. It wasn't like I got to break this artist. No. I gave you the biggest platform.
Yeah.
You ready to go. That's why I was pandemonium. Snoop was the biggest rapper at that point. It's hands down, it's not a discussion. When Snoop came out, Snoop was the biggest rapper. I'll challenge anybody to that debate.
So is it safe to say that Snoop Dogg stole the show on the Chronic?
No, he did what he was supposed to do.
didn't
Dre
steal the
wasn't
show.
a rapper.
Dre wanted him to be the Dre
wasn't a rapper.
Dre don't,
even on NWA.
Yeah. Dre played his part because he was Dr. Dre, but Dre wanted Snoop to shine, so it wasn't like he stole the show.
He was orchestrating everything.
Yeah, the Snoop part was already conquered. Yeah. The toppings and the sprinkles and all that shit was the dog pound and what they had to bring. Lady of Rage, you know what I'm saying? Nate Dogg and all them, you know what I'm saying? Then DOC coming back and doing some production and some writing. You know what I'm saying? All that shit played a part. You feel me? So Snoop was already there. Yeah. Cause Dr. Dre came back into an element with deep cover. Yeah. You feel me? Who better to put in a movie like that? Yeah. Where it's being shot at. You know what I'm saying? Everything that the movie represents. And to make that single. Yeah. Come on, man.
I think it's safe to say that Dr. Dre never wanted to be put out there as a rapper.
He still don't want
He's
to.
like, I just want to be a producer, say my little verse, and you guys shine. I'm going to just play the back.
He still wants to play the background. He likes breaking art. I think he gets a kick out of making dudes stars. And he's done it over and over and over again. So you can't knock him. He know what he's doing. So what does the Chronic mean to West Coast hip hop?
The Bible.
Just a classic.
I agree, man. It's like the West
classic
Coast.
knots on their belt.
It's like the West Coast Bible for real.
Of hip hop. What it can be.
If you would want an album to represent the whole coast at the time, you would pick this.
Because when they say West Coast sound, they don't go past Dr. Dre. They go right here. They go here to the Chronic. Yeah. This is what started it all. So what does this mean to hip hop altogether? The Chronic.
I think I mean, to me, I feel like it just shows the evolution of hip hop. We can go from East Coast, you can drop a classic West Coast, a classic down south. This hip hop music is new and it's evolving, it's growing. This is a West Coast classic. It's a hip hop classic. It's a hip hop classic, but this is the West Coast version of a, you know what I'm saying? Like this
is everything.
It's everything.
It's like their story. It's like the West Coast story.
Yeah,
it's like
a West Side story.
If you from the East Coast and you ain't know nothing about the West Coast, like yo, give them the Chronic. Like,
exactly.
Vibe out.
Yeah.
But like I think in hip hop he made people step their game up. Like his album sound like that. Oh, what we doing? We gotta go back and
we gotta remaster this.
You talking to your producer like, yo, we gotta tighten up a little bit, man. Like you hear how this sound?
I need a bigger production. I need better samples.
I agree.
Because his music sounds like this in 1992. This is not even with access to all the best equipment.
No MP3s.
And he made it sound like this. So I know other dudes listening to this like, how am I supposed to compete with this? You hear this music?
Yeah.
You hear these beats? Like, what are we supposed to do? I think it made all the hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, of course, we had the lyricists on the East Coast, but I think they were like, damn, like my production, I got to get better. Like,
I need better beats. I need better everything.
I got to step it up all across the board, man. What about to Death Row? The Chronic means to Death Row. We talk about classics and we talk about other classics that came after this, but what did the Chronic do for Death Row?
Took it to another level.
This is out the gate, a knockout punch.
It was the opener.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It kicked down the door. If the Chronic somehow flopped, we may not get Snoop. We definitely ain't getting the dog pound. You know, we definitely not going to hear from the Lady of Rage. She ain't going to get a chance to do
this album built the office for Death Row.
I agree with that.
This is the foundation of Death Row Records right here.
Yes.
Yep.
It laid the foundation.
Point blank period.
It wouldn't be. I agree. It opened the doors for the office.
This is cutting the ribbon.
There's probably in the basement somewhere a little closet in the basement, and this came out, and it was like, oh, we Death Row Records now. You say like we an entity now, like
right.
Yeah, this was Death Row Records, man. This is crazy. So we're gonna get this right out the way real quick. Is the Chronic a classic?
Come on, man. Why were you
Man, look.
Why are you asking that question?
It's somebody out there, I guarantee, that
Don't
says
believe
it. It's the heavy East Coast guy. No, man. This is too West Coast, man. This
I
ain't
doubt
a
it,
classic.
man. You put this shit up, man. I guarantee you not. If somebody come and say somebody trolling, if they come and say that this album is not a classic, they officially trolling.
This is a classic.
Not unless you really never heard it before. You know what I'm saying?
And that tells
That
me
could be a lot of people.
That tells me a lot about you. If you ain't heard the Chronic, I don't even care. If you a rapper, you young, you ain't heard the Chronic.
Do your homework, man.
I can't even rock with you.
Yeah.
I can't rock with you. What's your favorite song on the Chronic?
Let
I
Me
got
Ride.
a couple of them, man.
Mine's Let Me Ride.
Let Me Ride.
Let Me Ride is my favorite
I can't
song.
pick one, man.
Mine is Let
I
Me
can't
Ride.
pick one, but Stranded on Death Row, man, and bitches ain't shit, man. God damn.
The B cuts.
Mine is Let Me
man.
Ride.
Mine
dog.
definitely Let Me Ride.
Let Me Ride.
I
is
can,
so crazy.
I can play that song and just be in a good mood, just hearing that.
I wish they had it on streaming sites so I could put it on all my playlists
Yeah.
for like my chill playlist. Like, you know, we on the yachts and stuff. Like, I need this Let Me Ride on there. This is that kind of vibe I need.
Well, you could buy it and have it.
I do. I got all the stuff.
Yeah, I know.
dog. Well, I guess I got.
I mean, buy it from Apple.
Yeah,
and
but
have the
streaming
MP3s.
streaming is so much
Yeah,
more convenient. But I
convenient,
do
yeah.
have the MP3, which
Right.
I could download. But you know, I still rather just be able to just stream it real
just
quick. It's a
have
lot
it
more
instantaneously.
convenient. But I think I might have to do that though, Sean. I might have to go. I got the MP3. I might
Let me
have
see
to
how much it is on Apple.
upload. No, it's not on Apple.
No, I'm saying Apple Music. Yeah, the iTunes store. You can buy it. I'm
I
sure.
don't even know. Is it on there either? It may not be on there
Let me
neither.
see. It's Chronic.
For some reason, the Chronic isn't on streaming sites. It was on Tidal for a minute, but then they took it down. I'm not sure exactly what the issue is. I don't even know. I don't even think it's sampling. I think it's something with who owns it. It's not on nothing.
Damn, you can't even buy it. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
I would have to take the original CD I got,
Rip it.
rip
Yeah.
it, then download that on the Apple Music. But
Damn,
that's a
you,
lot.
You can buy it too. The Chronic 2001.
Yeah,
you
not the
damn,
Chronic.
That's
Because the
$11.99.
Chronic 2001 isn't Death Row. It's something with Death Row and the people that own Death Row. So, you know,
Damn,
we
yeah,
gotta
you might
get
have
that
to rip
right.
it from the
Yeah, I have to
CD.
do that. So, where does this album rank in Dr. Dre's discography?
I would say
Number one. Number one, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's his. It's his baby. You know what I'm saying? It's his baby.
Definitely number one, man. It ain't even close. But I do think Chronic 2001 is a classic.
Yeah.
But the Chronic is number one, hands down, ain't a discussion. And I wasn't big on Compton. I think that was a compilation. I don't
know what that was. I ain't even visit that shit.
Well, his last joint that was an EP did a couple years ago or a year ago. No, you liked it.
No, that,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
that
just
joint-
saying, but that
was
Compton
alright.
That
shit.
joint was
It
alright.
was alright,
Yeah,
but that
Compton
Compton
was-
shit.
yeah.
Oh, the
was-
Compton was light.
Yeah.
Compton was like I don't even think he should have called that a Dr. Dre
Yeah.
album. I think he should have made that a compilation.
The joint he
to
had
to
with
the movie.
with the Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto. That joint was
official.
kind. That EP was dope.
Who was singing on there? Dude that rock with Bruno Mars. Anderson .Paak.
Anderson
he
.Paak.
was on there. That
Well,
joint.
you know he's on Aftermath. Too.
Yeah.
You know, that EP was
Yeah, that
alright. It
joint
was
was
like 6
official.
songs. He had the
Yeah.
song with Busta Rhymes, Snoop
Yeah.
on there. That was kind of dope. Man, you think we gonna hear Detox ever?
Nah.
When
Forgot about
and Dr.
Detox.
Dre 60?
Nah.
60 years old? The Detox album, you ain't waiting for that joint? It's
So
over.
he ain't dropping that.
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't think
He ain't
so.
dropping
What'd
that.
you think?
You know what? I think nobody's expecting it so much that I wouldn't be surprised if one day Dre, because I think he has music. I wouldn't be surprised if one day he just drops it because he that kind of person.
Well,
Like,
they were saying that he's so like meticulous about his sound that he never puts it out. 'cause
How
it'll
far?
never
How far
sound
are
right.
the songs are we going back? 'Cause
probably did
He
3.
probably got young Snoop songs that
young
Snoop
Eminem
not
on there.
rapping. You know what I'm saying?
He probably did so many different
Shit
versions
ain't
of it
coming
over
back.
the year.
Shit ain't coming out.
Detox, man. Detox 2030.
I hope it do, but I know it ain't.
2035.
Nah,
Detox.
that shit ain't
soon,
coming out,
man.
bro. Shit ain't coming.
2035.
He missed that. He missed that opening for that.
Yeah, that boat is over. I'm not saying it's over.
No,
but
I wouldn't say
like-
it's over, but I think that right after that Chronic 2001, he was supposed to come right back with it because he had everybody back on a high and back on Snoop.
Then he
Because you
had
got to
a-
realize, because Snoop was coming from down south
Yeah, No Limit.
at the time. You know what I'm saying? When he came back and did the 2001 Chronic.
2001, dope.
Then on
You
top
feel
of
me?
that, he had a young 50 Cent He just putting up- oh, man,
he was supposed to grab all that right then and there,
Eminem
man.
was hot at the time. They actually rapped on beats. Like that was
Fit
actually
him
good.
in wherever you could fit him in. I don't know how. Maybe an interlude. I wouldn't have been happy to hear him on the Detox.
I don't know, man. I you never know what to expect with Dr. Dre. He's so like secretive, like you don't know.
It's over.
It's over.
Man. Wifey took that.
He took the detox with the settlement.
She has.
I need this masters. Let me get that.
She has some tight ends on that.
Let me get that hard drive.
Yeah, don't forget, nigga, I was sitting up with you with that detox.
She took detox into this. She got everything with the divorce.
Damn.
That's crazy. Shit.
She took him down like Kanye, and his net worth went down.
It's messy.
Damn, man.
All right, yo, I got one more question.
What's that?
Is Dr. Dre and Snoop the best producer rapper protege ever? Like he brought up somebody that's like one of the
Yes. That did projects together, that did enough songs together. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
And also, who would you compare like their number two, like producer, MC?
I don't know, because people I think of Nas and Primo, but Nas and Primo really
only
didn't
got one album.
They didn't really do a lot of songs together. They got classic songs.
I mean, but also Primo didn't bring in Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was like that's a whole nother dynamic.
I think they kind of in a class of their own a little bit. Like,
I was literally sitting here for the past 5 minutes thinking
Puff for
about
Big, probably closest.
I could see that.
I could see that. Yeah.
I could see that. I could
That's
see
it.
that.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is just only reason I don't say that is because
Puff ain't make
Puff
that many
wasn't as
beats.
hands on with the beat production.
He was hands on,
but
definitely with the production.
He was in the studio. He
was hands on with the production though. The production of the albums, he was hands on.
Everything. Okay, that ain't bad. I ain't mad at that. I just think Dre and Snoop, even when Dre came back with 2001, it just let me know like they got the magic.
It's just different because you know Dre made shit.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Organically.
Yeah. So that's what makes them unique.
Man, where does this album rank at in Death Row's discography?
Number 1. What are we talking about? You asked the same question?
You would take this over.
I didn't say
All Eyes on Me.
I said Death Row's discography.
This is the best album that touched Death Row, man.
You would take this over All Eyes on Me.
This is a straight classic, Sean. At the time that this dropped, man, I didn't know nothing else. Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
Over all the Tupac albums on Death Row.
I'm just telling you that when it comes
we just said that, right?
When it comes, yes. This
album. The question was, where does this rank at?
This number one.
Discography?
This number one.
All right.
This number one.
I disagree with you.
Who are you gonna go? Doggy Style?
But I'm not going with Pac. I'm going with Doggy Style number 1.
Yeah.
Not disrespecting Pac, but I'm just saying Death Row. I'm going with Doggy Style and then The Chronic. Then
All Eyes on Me.
All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli. I may have to shuffle that a little bit.
Yeah.
And then after that,
Pac joint was definitely number 3. I ain't going front on but Pac joint was the most overall exposure of Death Row.
With one Dr. Dre's beat on that album?
Yeah, my point exactly.
Crazy, yeah.
Pac album gave Death Row the overall, like a whole level of different level of exposure.
Right.
But this was the best Death Row product.
Yeah.
Beat for beat, pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? Song for song. Doggy Style is rough, but Doggy Style is the Chronic baby.
I say that. I say Doggy Style because to me the Doggy Style is an extension of the Chronic.
Yeah.
It's just Snoop was such a star. It just elevated. It was like we already seen Snoop shine, and then Snoop just super shined on Doggy Style.
Out of them 3 albums we named,
you can't go wrong with either one.
You can't, but no music video enhanced the songs more than this album.
I agree with that.
Snoop Dogg, you can go back to his album, Doggy Style, and look at the videos he made off the album.
Gin and Juice.
They was all right. This album, the videos enhanced to make you love the song even more.
I don't know because Pac was popping with that California Love though.
Yeah,
and
but
Drake,
it was
the only thing Drake was
but
part
it was
of.
more. But it was more.
Video.
But
two versions of it,
the video was more on a futuristic medieval type time.
Mad
that
Max.
We know that we ain't running around doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit was real shit, like gutter, straight raw.
And
like we
they also
this
didn't
shit
have, they didn't have no
right
budget
on
to do
in
nothing
the
like
smoker crib on the block. I'm telling you, this shit was different, man. I'm telling you. This shit shook shit up for real.
I'm not mad at the Chronic. I'm gonna go with Doggy Style, but Chronic is number 2. Chronic opened the door for Death Row, and then when he gave Snoop the alley-oop, Snoop just kicked it all the way down and in with Doggy Style, and I just think he was a star, man.
Yeah, I agree.
But Dre was behind it all, so at the end of the day, it's all Dr.
Exactly,
Dre.
yeah.
So and then I go with All Eyes on Me, All Eyes on Me, Machiavelli. And then Above the Rim soundtrack, because I maybe honorable mention the Dog Pound.
Above the Rim soundtrack got a strong 6, maybe 7 songs on there. Strong 6. Yeah, it's a lot of fillers on that. But I just think at the time,
Dog Pound.
But hell yeah. But I think what made that, as I said, visual, and enhances music at times. Yeah. When you was hearing that motherfucking soundtrack while that movie was on, Above the Rim, it took it to a different level.
Yeah. But the Chronic, if you say that's your favorite Death Row album, I ain't mad.
I ain't mad
at that.
It is. It's mine. As much as I'm a Pac fan and Pac my guy, this shit was real.
I respect that, freaks. Here's the reaching point of the episode.
The Stretch Armstrong section.
Has any album came out in the last 30 years that reminds you of the Chronic?
Yeah, I think like what album sonically changed the game in a good way? Like,
I thought about this at first, and I was like,
interludes and all.
I thought about this at first, and there was no way at first. I'm like, it's no way I could find a song that kind of gives me any kind of feel as the Chronic. And then I reached a little bit more, and I actually got something.
I'm reaching, dude. I think of the impact of the album, but it wasn't as strong as its impact. And the only thing I can say is Reasonable Doubt. I'm just being real.
I mean, for a brand new label for the first album,
I'm gonna say Reasonable Doubt, man. But Reasonable Doubt don't have them interludes like that.
I don't get that one.
I'm just saying as
and
far as
you got on my Jadakiss one the last time.
I'm just saying, man. The potency of Reasonable Doubt when it dropped was dope. This was dope, but it's just that, like I said. It was more open to the world. This was more open to the world.
I don't get that one, man.
All right, that's just me.
And you got on my Jadakiss to In My Lifetime on the 25th episode. You got on that, but you said Reasonable Doubt.
I'm just saying.
All right, well look,
who you got?
All right, listen to me. Get the whole vision.
Oh shit! Just say what you got. No. Just say what you got. What you got doing?
We got a producer, great producer, popular producer. He has artists ghostwrite for him. He got a team of artists on his label that he puts behind.
You reaching?
No, not Kanye.
You reaching? He talking about Pete Diddy.
We just celebrated Puff Daddy.
About...
Only difference is the subject matter isn't as hard. But he has a crew of label mates that have dope hit songs. Puff Daddy and the Family, No Way Out is that's my reach, but I don't think it's that far to reach.
It's cool.
It's Puff's not on all the songs. He's letting his
what you trying to represent. I get your story of it. I'm only feeling your story.
Only difference
I'm not feeling the potency of the music.
Subject matter isn't as hard, but I don't think Reasonable Doubt subject matter is anything near the Chronic. It's a street version.
And the Chronic is street.
It's not gangster.
It's straight gangster. It's talking about money. Money is gangster.
Reasonable Doubt is getting money in a poetic way.
Yeah, absolutely. And handling certain shit like the mob. When did he not like, yo, boom, boom? But listen, they talking cash shit about getting down.
I think No Way Out is more closer than Reasonable Doubt.
The texture of No Way Out.
How it feels when
it doesn't compare to that. I think, but it's cool. It's cool. I respect your reach.
The only thing about No Way Out is just the subject matter is different.
I respect your reach.
The concept of it, the producer, I'm gonna let my label shine. That's where I'm going with.
I respect your reach, but nah.
But I think the difference is Puff wanted to be the star rapper too. He wanted to be.
It was horrible. That's the difference.
Victory verse was not horrible,
man. You just naming one verse. Because we can go for days about verses on here that with Dr. Dre. Oh, well, fuck, who wrote them? Puff
Jadakiss wrote
Puff sounded bad, reiterating some of these things.
He wasn't whack on Young
bad.
G. He wasn't whack on Young G. Sauce
He
Money
was.
that.
He was all right. And this world like stars when I spit these bars. Don't fuck with these stars in the luxury cars. Stop it, man.
No Way Out ain't a bad read. I think Kanye tried when he did College Dropout, but it didn't have the same impact. And he wasn't that known yet, and he ain't have a team
full
as
through
strong.
tracks. I'm telling you, like,
I think it just shows how great this album really is.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
even if people,
like
30 years,
but like
ago.
sonically, I don't really think nothing compares to this album. I really sonically, it's hard for me to compare this to anything.
you can't.
Like, this joint definitely changed the bar.
Yo, I'm telling you.
That's one song. Maybe no. I'm talking about musically. Maybe that song, and that's crazy. Irv Gotti did that, but it's funny. Maybe musically that song, but musically the songs on there don't sound like this, man.
Definitely No Way Out there.
I mean, but at the time, this is 92 to 97. Technology changed, beats, better beat machines and stuff, better samplers. Things changed, but at the time, this is just, even now, it still sounds great today.
This joint knock, man.
Yeah.
Like, this dude was ahead of his time for real, man. Wow, man. The Chronic. 30 years later.
30 years.
30 years later. Like, man, the legacy of the Chronic 30 years later, man.
Classic.
Who would have thought hip hop would have, not been this far, but evolved to where it is? It's crazy.
It is what it is.
Dr. Dre is a musical genius. This he already was a genius. He already had classics. He had classics before the Chronic. He had NWA albums. He had the DOC album. He had Eazy-E album, which was slept on. He had.
I don't know about classic for that Eazy-E. It was a good
It
album.
wasn't classic. It was close.
It was a good album.
He had some joints on there. It ain't,
Reaching again.
It is far from whack.
Send it through tonight, Sean.
No.
Send it through.
Hey, yo, you go to a certain market, they'll argue you down about that.
I know they will, but let's be real.
Eazy-E
Let's
album
be real.
got some
Stop.
joints. Eazy-E album got some joints.
It do, but it's not classic.
Man, okay, DOC album a classic.
This did. I'm not
DOC,
gonna argue with you about that.
I don't know. The Eazy-E album got. That's another story.
Yeah, stop.
That's another story.
It's not better than none of them classics.
I can listen to Eazy-E album right now and be good.
Yeah, you could, but you ain't putting it over none of these or the other ones that you just named.
I'm not.
All right, okay, all right.
I'm just
Then
saying
let's
I
move
like
on.
it. But no, man, the Chronic, man, it changed the game. It stamped him as not just a great producer, but the best producer. Like Dr. Dre was the best producer. Everybody was chasing this sound at this point. And I think he proved it, that he wasn't no fluke, man. He came back for 2001. He made Eminem a star. He made Snoop a star. The Dogg Pound a star. He made Eminem a star. He made 50 Cent a star. He made Game a star. It wasn't a coincidence.
Yeah.
Dre got the magic touch when it comes to producing. And this album was the stamp, and he continued that out through his career.
Yeah.
He made star after star after star. But this right here is one of them hip hop Bible album. This is a classic, man.
What I like most about Dr. Dre is he'll lose everything, start over,
He
lose
did
it
it
again,
so many times.
and then it's like it's good to see that now he don't have to make music, or when he wants to, he can make music. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in his own lane now.
Think about what this man has done. He went from NWA to Snoop Dogg, left Death Row,
Lost everything.
Got Eminem, then got 50 Cent,
Yeah.
then got The Game.
Hey, what about that Aftermath project he had in between?
Terrible. Then got Kendrick Lamar. Then got Anderson .Paak. Like he's still going. Like it's crazy, man. Dr. Dre run is crazy. And even though he don't produce as much, I think he got a whole bunch of songs on his file, but we probably never going to hear unless hopefully they don't try to do them like Prince and all that one day. But it's classic, man.
Definitely classic.
The Chronic is a super classic. Is it in your top 5 hip hop albums of all time?
Not me personally, no.
Ain't far.
I don't think. Only reason this ain't in my top 5, but it's right there. The only reason this probably ain't in my top 5 is just because I think the only thing, if I'm like super being picky with the album, it would be that okay. The lyricism could have been better on some of the stuff.
No,
coming from an East Coast.
I'm about to
perspective.
say, if we was on the West Coast, this would be like, yo, this is our Illmatic.
Yeah,
we know that. This their
they weren't rapping like Nas on here.
Nah.
They weren't rapping like Nas. But that may be the only thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think the rapping is whack.
Nah,
By far, it's not whack. But that may be the only thing I could pick, and that's maybe why I picked some of the East Coast albums over this, only because I like the lyricism. I'm in the lyrics, man. I'm
lyrics. You from
Yeah.
East Coast? When
I'm
you
in
from
the
East
bar.
Coast, you in
Because
the
lyrics
bars.
match the production.
Yes.
Here, maybe the
but if it's
production's
not,
better,
if it's
but
not,
the
I
lyrics
think
is
it's right outside of my top 5.
Yeah.
But
Not top 10. That's cool.
it's
Nothing wrong with
definitely
that.
top.
Yeah.
It's definitely top 10.
Yeah.
Because I think of when I take Illmatic over the Chronic. Yes, because I like the bars a little better. But musically, this is probably better than my favorite album, Ready to Die, Life After Death. And these are my favorite albums that I would take over this album. But when I think of sonically and the production, I don't even think they can mess with them. But overall, I'm taking those albums over.
But honestly, like, if it wasn't for this, a lot of them albums probably wouldn't sound like they do. Because, like, you tell me this didn't want to influence Illmatic. It didn't influence
a lot of shit.
You know what I'm saying?
DJ
Ready
Premier,
to Die,
DJ
36
Premier,
Chambers.
DJ
like,
Premier tells you that this he inspired him. RZA tells you that it's a couple it's stuff that the RZA I hear that I can feel like damn it's like that Dr. Dre inspired them a little bit. Puff, he was inspired by Dre. He sampled Dre on Ready to Die on like they sampled him. So that Dr. Dre was the go-to producer. It's a reason why Nas he linked with Nas and they did the Firm and all of that.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre was that guy, man. This album is a classic. If you
Definitely
ain't
classic.
heard the Chronic, if you haven't heard the Chronic,
Stop what you're doing and listen to this album.
please go back and do yourself, the honor of going and check out this album, man. It's a classic, man. It's a classic
There's a
album.
reason why so many MCs tip their hat to this guy.
Even if it sounds dated to you and you're young, you should be able to learn something from listening to this album. You're going to hear samples. You're going to hear what people took. Dr. Dre, I remember her Kanye said he just sped up a Dr. Dre beat for one of his first albums. No, matter of fact, it's for the song on the Dynasty album with Jay-Z. This Can't Be Life. He said he just sped up a Dr. Dre sample for that beat. So that's all the Chronic, man. Dr. Dre, man, happy 30-year anniversary
30
to the Chronic.
30.
Death Row Records. Shout out to Dr. Dre.
Classic, straight classic.
Shout out to Snoop Dogg. Shout out to the Dog Pound. Rest in peace to Nate Dogg. Rest in peace to Jewel. A lot of people. Rest in peace to Bushwick Bill that was a part of this album. A lot of people, man.
Lady of Rage, RBX.
Shout out to Lady of
DOC.
Rage. Shout out to oh man, DOC's a
Everybody
legend,
that's
man.
involved
Thank
with
you
this.
for all your contributions. This is one of those special albums, 30-year anniversary. Wow. Nothing but a G thing. Fuck with Dre Day. Let me ride. Whew. Little ghetto boy.
Bitches ain't shit, but
What?
old tricks.
Man, this album will live forever. It's 30 years now.
Sure.
This album will live forever. And I think maybe a couple years ago, I think it was Jay-Z's Blueprint. It became like this national, what they call it, like they put it in like this national thing of music. It was a couple years back. This needs to go in there too. This album need to go in there. I think Wu-Tang's album, I think Enter 36 Chambers got put in there too. The Chronic, if it's not in there, it needs to go in there.
It'll be in there.
It needs to go. It should be already be in there, but it should go in there. Classic, man.
Definitely a classic.
Classic, man. Happy 30-year anniversary to the Chronic, man. Shout out to Dr. Dre, and thank you for all your contributions to hip-hop, man. Super legend.
Yes.
Super legend, man. Whoo! We Concert Crew Podcast. Make sure you go follow us at Concert Crew Podcast. Make sure y'all go download, subscribe.
Yeah.
We on all digital platforms,
Hit that button.
man.
Yes.
Make sure y'all go to our YouTube page.
Watch them videos.
Man, subscribe, man. Check out all our videos, man. Thank y'all, man. I've been seeing the subscriptions
Like,
go
comment.
up. I've been seeing the views go up. We appreciate y'all, man. Continue to support, man. We working. We working.
Word.
We giving y'all a product. We versatile. Like we out here working, man.
And we consistent.
We ain't going. We are not going nowhere, man. Concert Crew Podcast. You know, as we always say, long live Taz.
Yes, sir.
We're going to continue to March 4th, brother. We love you, man. We love you.
Absolutely.
I know he loved the Chronic. I don't even got to think about it because I know he did, man.
Yeah. No brainer.
Classic album, man. But yo, Concert Crew Podcast. Yo, Pito, hit us with the fader. We out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Biatch.